Speaking to Danny Heale after today's 3-1 defeat against Leiston. Danny, other than the sending off, what went wrong with it today?
I think the conditions were a massive factor in the game. Obviously, the wind was outrageous. But so we had the win first half. I mean, we got 1-0 down within 2 minutes. Just poor defending, poor not pressing high enough up the pitch. And they took their goal well. But fair play to us. We got back into it, scored straight away afterwards. And then obviously second half was going to be hard work against that wind. And the sending off of John Easterford just before half time was that was the blow that killed us. And it was always going to be tough after them. But fair play to the boys. Second half, I thought they dug in and they kept going to the end. But we had too many players today that were below par, and we carried 3 or 4 today, and we can't afford to do that.
So we responded well to going behind, really well actually. Could have equalised moments later. Did you think after we equalised with that wind as well, we should have maybe tried to make that advantage count? And
so we've got someone doing stats for us, and I think for the first 25 minutes of the game, I think we put nearly 9 crosses in the box. We looked like we was going to score every time the ball went in the box because it was bouncing around in there and that. And then we went 1-0, and then we stopped crossing the ball. And but listen, we'll take it on the chin. We weren't good enough today. We didn't deserve anything from the game. So we didn't play the wind in the first half well enough. And fair play to Leiston. They're a good side, but it's tougher when you've got 11 men on the pitch. But the second booking for John Easterford was outrageous. I don't know. All he's done was stood his ground, and the boys ran into him, and the ref sent him off. So that's what skilled us. It's always going to be hard then with that wind and that. And it's just some of our decision making let us down today as well. But it was a poor showing for us today, to be honest.
So Leiston, as you said, were probably the better team. One of the better teams we've had down here this season as well. Was you impressed with them? They were fifth in the league before today. Did that reflect in their play? Seemed to close the game down quite well.
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously playing Wednesday night on extra time, probably we had the extra time in our legs. We hadn't had time to recover properly. We've had a few tired bodies out there, but again, I don't understand this league sometimes. We play 46 league games, plus the FA Cup, plus the FA Trophy, plus the Essex Senior Cup, plus the Ryman Cup, and you've got teams playing on a Wednesday night. Now, I just don't understand that. Fair enough, some teams play on a Monday night, and I think that's too much of a quick turnaround. But to play on a Wednesday night, then it leaves you 2 days. If you play Saturday and then you play on Wednesday as well, you can't do much of training up. It makes everything else up. And for the amount of games we have to play this season, and we've got the bad weather coming in, just playing games on a home game on a Wednesday night, I just don't understand it.
Do you think as well the fact that we played that really long game on Wednesday, went to penalties as well, and then they had the disappointment of losing on penalties? Do you think their heads were still a little bit down from that one?
Yeah, a little bit, but they'll still be up and buzzing, picking their money up in a minute. So there's a few people in there that weren't good enough today, and we've got to address that. I think for the last couple of weeks we may have been carrying 2 or 3 players. I think it may be time for us to have a little bit of a move around with players. I think some people have got stale, some people are not doing it. And it's down to us behind the scenes to make sure that we get the right people in. But I say, at least they're a good side. They've got a big budget, and they're a good side, and they're in where they are in the league for a reason. But I say they deserved it today. We weren't at the races today, and just the sending off killed us. But again, we look back at the amount of sending offs we've had this year, and it is a lot. And I just think we're getting hard done by at the time. And I always go back to having that bit of lady luck on your side, and that we never got it. I think we've done enough over the 2 trophy games to get through, and then I thought we was a better side by a mile on Wednesday night, and we've ended up losing on penalties. So that was a kick in the teeth, but it's football, and that's part of the game, and that's why we all love it. But you've got to wear your heart on your sleeve and give 110% when you put on a shirt, especially down here at Canvey, and I won't have nothing less. And I think there was a couple of boys in there today that ain't gave me 110%. So I think that's our problem. But like I keep going back to it, down to 10 men in that wind and them conditions, it was always going to be tough. But credit to them, the boys that played second half, and they stuck at it and gave it a go. And we just got to go again on Tuesday and make sure we turn the corner quickly.
So one player who stood out today was the goalkeeper Tim Brown. He had another good game, had a couple of really good saves. Are you happy with his impact on the team? He's had some.
Yeah, no, he's a good lad. He's only going to get better as well. And so we had the same thing with Josh Vickers last year. He come in as a young kid and left as a man, and I can see that happening with Tim at the moment. He's getting better and better with each game. Obviously, the kick out for the second goal, obviously under the pressure with the wind, but then that's our decision making again. The ball's gone back, we're halfway into our half, and we've turned around and laid the ball back to Tim, and he's ended up catching it wrong, and he's gone straight to their player. But he's just got to turn there. People's got to tell him he's got no one around him and turn around and then hit the ball in the channel like we've asked him to do. So that cost us the second goal massively, and then it weren't really until the third one went in that we got going again. And I thought when we made the change up front and Harrison Tweddle come on and he worked his socks off, and it just, when you've got people working hard from the front and it builds everyone else from the team behind them to start as well, and I think that's what we lacked today.
Okay, so do you think after all the hype of the FA Cup and to go out in heartbreaking fashion in a replay, are their heads down, still a little bit down from that? The confidence.
I believe so, and I think obviously the FA Cup run, obviously the money it's brought in's been a massive plus for us. But again, I think it's just making us take our eye off things, and I think they are a bit down at the minute. But we've had training, we've had another couple of games in between, and I think we are feeling the after effects of it all, to be honest with you. But we've got to snap out of that quickly, otherwise you get left behind. And we've got a massive game now against Wingate next Saturday. We need to be picking up points and quickly.
So you've said they've got to snap out of it after a few bad results. How important is it now to get a few wins together? Yeah,
without a doubt. So we're capable of going on a run and that, and the league's so tight. But obviously, where we've had a 2-week break from the league with the cup games and that, we've had a roller coaster of emotions, and we've got to snap out of it quickly. But I say, if it's 1-1 at half time, which it was, and then we've got 11 men on the pitch, you give yourself half a chance. So to play with 10 men, and John Easter is a big player for us, he's very good aerially for us, especially dealing with that wind. And if he was going to have one sent off, that was probably the worst one that you wanted to be sent off. But fair play. Mike Jones has given him a sloppy pass in the first half, and he's had to bring the boy down to get the first yellow card, so we caused it ourselves. And then the decision to send him off for just standing there and the boy running into him was ridiculous, really. So I don't know what the referee's seen there. So it's cost us. It's a kick in the teeth, but we're big enough and ugly enough. We bounce back. Like it's all right. Everyone's happening on the back when things are going well for you, but it makes you see what sort of person you are inside when things don't go right for you. And we had it last season. We got off to a bad start, and so I've just said to the boys in there, if we stick together and work hard and do the right things and make the right decisions, we'll get through it. But it's not. It is a crisis. We lost 3-1 at home, but this is the last 2 games. We've drew here with Leverhead, and then we drew away at Leverhead and lost on penalties. So it ain't as though you've been thumped for the last 5 games we've lost or whatever that. And we lost to a very good Havant side away from home, which was always going to be tough anyway. But so we got used to winning, and we got used to playing well. And the last couple of weeks have been hard to take, but I keep going back to it. We've got to snap out of it quickly and stop feeling sorry for ourselves.
So we've got Whittam on Tuesday in the Essex Senior Cup, a cup competition we've got a rich history in. And what can we expect for that? It's usually a competition where we see maybe like half first team and some squad players. What can we expect to see on Tuesday?
Yeah, to be fair, I had every intention of maybe giving some boys a run out. There's a few tired legs in our side, so there will be a few changes in that. I think we're quite close to bringing another 1, maybe 2 strikers in, and another centre half to the club. So I think 2 of them are here tonight, that we're going to go and have a chat with them now. So hopefully we'll have some good news tomorrow, and they'll go straight into the squad for Tuesday. But we need to have a little shake around at the moment, and there's a few people we're carrying, and we can't afford to do that. So you'll probably see the back of a few people and another couple of fresh faces coming in. But we'll go there strong. It's the only cup competition we're left in. Obviously, if we'd stayed in the FA Trophy, I probably would have mixed it up a little bit. But we need to step out of it, and if we can get a result with Whittam on Tuesday, hopefully we can have a good training session Thursday, and then go and give a good account of ourselves against Wingate away on next Saturday.
Fantastic. Thank you, Danny. Talk to you next weekend.